इस वीडियो में हम करेंगे सिर्फ इंडिसेस के रूल्स और नेक्स्ट में कुछ क्वेश्चंस पास पेपर से प्रैक्टिस करेंगे। सो इफ़ यू कैन सी हमारे पास बेसिक रूल्स आ जाते हैं, जैसे कि पहला है आपके पास प्रोडक्ट रूल। प्रोडक्ट रूल में इफ़ आई कैन शो यू, जैसे नंबर्स मल्टीप्लाई हो रहे हैं, x cube multiplied with x raised to power 8. Basically you add up powers. When you multiply, you add up powers. This is 3 plus 8 is equals to 11. Even if it is happening with numbers, this is 2 raised to power 4 into 2 raised to power 2. So 4 plus 2, that is 6. And when you have separate brackets, तो same element जो है वो same element की power के साथ add हो जाएगा. So this is 2 plus 3, that is 5, and you have y when there is no power, that is 1. So 1 plus 4, that is again 5. तो ये आपके पास आ गया प्रोडक्ट रूल। इसमें एक छोटी सी एग्जांपल कर लेते हैं। सपोज x रेज टू पावर 2 मल्टीप्लाइड विद x रेज टू पावर 3, you add these two, this becomes x raised to power 5. अगर आपके पास ज़्यादा आ जाते हैं, 2 मल्टीप्लाइड विद एक्स रेज टू पावर 4 मल्टीप्लाइड विद एक्स रेज टू पावर -3, सो क्या होता है, पावर्स यू आर गोइंग टू ऐड दम, 2 plus 4 एंड यू आर एडिंग -3 into it. सो 2 plus 4 is 6, 6 minus 3, you are left with 3. तो ये आपके पास आ गया पावर रूल। क्वोशिएंट रूल में आप आ जाते हैं तो ये डिवाइड हो रहा है। जब आप डिवाइड करते हैं, यू सब्ट्रैक्ट पावर। अनलाइक प्रोडक्ट रूल में आप ऐड कर रहे थे, व्हेन यू कम टू क्वोशिएंट रूल यू सब्ट्रैक्ट दीज पावर्स. सो x रेज टू पावर 5 डिवाइडेड बाय x रेज टू पावर 2, सो 5 minus 2 is 3, यू लेफ्ट विद x क्यूब. फिर आ गया नंबर्स के साथ 3 रेज टू पावर 5 डिवाइडेड बाय 3 रेज टू पावर 3 जब आपके पास हो रहा है, तो बेसिकली 5 minus 3, you are left with 2. ना इट डिपेंड्स कि क्वेश्चन की डिमांड क्या है। अगर इंडेक्स फॉर्म में मांगा हुआ आप उसे 3 स्क्वायर रहने दें, वरना 3 स्क्वायर को आप 9 भी लिख सकते हैं। कमिंग टू दिस थर्ड पार्ट, अगर नंबर गिवन है, वेरिएबल गिवन है x स्क्वायर y 5 एंड इट इज़ डिवाइडेड बाय x y क्यूब, तो x को x के साथ डील करना है। दिस वॉज 2, डिनोमिनेटर में आपके पास x लिखा हुआ है तो पावर 1 आ गई, 2 minus 1, और y को y के साथ डील करना है, 5 पावर y -3, तो फाइनल आंसर आ गया आपके पास x y स्क्वायर। थर्ड रूल पर आते हैं, ज़ीरो एक्सपोनेंट रूल। सो वेन एवर द पावर इज 0 यू जस्ट राइट 1, 6 पावर 0 you write 1. So if you are given with 84 times x square y cube over x 7 y 19 and the whole power is 0, so whatever the case is, just write 1. That's your answer. This was zero exponent rule. Then coming to power rule. So power rule, this is when you have these numbers, powers actually multiply with each other. X cube and it was 2, so 3 2 times is 6, you are left with x 6. Do not confuse this with power rule with the first one, that was product rule. So product rule was x square times x cube, this is x raised to power 2 plus 3, x 5, and the other one is x square 3, this is x raised to power 2 into 3, which is x 6. Let us consider one more example to avoid any confusion. If you have like x raised to power 2 into x raised to power 4, you will add these powers, that is 2 plus 4 x raised to the power 6, and if you have x2 4, that is x raised to power 2 into 4, that is x8. So product rule and power rule, they are different. A little more clarification, x raised to power 2 which is raised to the power 4 would mean this into x square actually 4 times. So this 4 leads it to writing it in 4 times, which is now equal to 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 is equals to x raised to power 8. So that's the power rule, difference between power and product rule. Coming to the next rule, expanded power rule. So the only difference between power rule and expanded power rule is that you have now more numbers within the bracket. So 2a cube, or we'll consider a few more questions, 2a cube. This cube is actually on both of the numbers, applied to 2 and applied to a. So 2 cube times a cube. This is 2 into 2 into 2, that's 8, and you can do nothing about this a, so this is left as 8a cube. If you have another question such as x square y cube z raised to power, let's say minus 3, and this is the power. So this 2 actually applies to each one of these inside the bracket. So this is x raised to power 2 into 2 is 4, y raised to the power 3 into 2 is 6, and z raised to the power minus 3 into 2 is minus 6. So that was your expanded power rule. Then you have negative exponents. Whenever you have the power in negative, you just take the reciprocal to convert it into positive fraction. For example, you have x raised to the power minus here right in the middle, so minus m 1 over m, you convert it into 1 over m. So if you had like 2 raised to the power minus 3, we would write it 1 over 2 cube, and which may be simplified to 1 over 2 raised to the power 8. So if you have negative power like minus n, you just take the reciprocal, denominator becomes the numerator and numerator goes into the denominator. When you deal with the numbers, let's consider this. Power is negative 2. If you apply this first inside the bracket, we have a minus 2 x 2 y minus 4, and then the power is minus 2. So let's consider this minus 2 x square. We had a negative power on y, take it into the denominator, the power changes, the sign changes, minus 2 again. Now this minus 2 is actually being applied on each and every term inside the bracket. So you take reciprocal of the entire fraction, and this is 2. y4 raised to the power 2, apply power rule, you get 8. Then this is minus 2 square, minus 2 times minus 2 is plus 4. So you're left with 4x4. This is your final answer. y8 4x4 divided by x4. And there is a little caution about this, that be careful where the power is being applied. For example, if you have minus 2 raised to the power 2, now this 2 is on each and everything inside the bracket, so that would make it plus 4. But if you have like minus 2 squared, now this square is being applied only on this number and not the negative sign, so you are left with minus 4. This was it. These are the rules, and we will solve questions from past paper in our next video. Product rule, add the powers. Quotient rule, subtract the powers, x from x and y from y. Zero exponent rule, whatever the number is raised to the power 0, just write it 1. Power rule, powers exactly multiply with each other. Do not get confused with product rule. In product rule, you add powers, and in power rule, you multiply the powers with each other. Expanded power rules, just within the fraction, each and every number is to be solved according to the power. Negative exponents, take the fraction of it, and do not confuse, like minus 3 raised to power 2 square is on negative sign as well as the number. So this is it. See you in next video with the past paper questions in practice. Allah Hafiz.